They might knock on your door on a late wintry night. You could see them drawing close to your vehicle at the same time as you are waiting on the side of the road or at a vacant gas station. It would appear like they need help, or they could just stand there, nonetheless, with no motive. These kids do not look threatening, but for some odd reason, your sense of dread is heightened. They would need to get in your house or in your car. They will be pushy. They will be abrupt. You may observe something isn't always right about these kids. Their eyes, pure black, from lid to lid. Dead black orbs without life or soul. In these few moments, as your adrenaline pumps, your hands tremble, and the sound around you turns into a silent whisper. You would have already known that you've come across the black-eyed children. Black-eyed children are a well-known city legend of paranormal creatures that resemble children between the ages of 6 and 16. These creatures with light skin and black eyes have reportedly been seen hitchhiking, panhandling, or at the doorsteps of residential houses. Dozens of these stories all hold one circulating truth, all following a strikingly similar pattern. Kids with eyes absolutely blackened out, seen at people's households or cars. They violently knock at the door, after which insist upon being let inside. All the people who've encountered them nearly right away felt a terrifying feeling of dread. Except for their blacked out eyes, these kids typically seem normal. Occasionally, their apparel appears quite outdated, as if looking like a character from the early 1960s. No person knows where or how these creatures pop up. Conspiracy theorists accept it as truth that the black-eyed children are extraterrestrial beings seeking to reach out to their earthly counterparts. Demonologists agree that they are the kids of the Prince of Darkness, Satan himself. And if you allow them in, you are permitting Satan to go into your life. They will always say they need to enter your house to ring their mother and father. But upon making eye contact, it appears like there is a much more sinister plot to the tale. A few people declare that these children have existed since the 1980s, but most people say that the legend originated in 1996 in posts written by a Texas reporter named Brian Bethel, wherein he wrote approximately alleged encounters with the black-eyed children. He stated in his encounter with the children in Albene, Texas, he found them with pale pores and skin and deep black eyes. In 2012, Bethel retold his story on the TV display of Monsters and Mysteries in America, He then wrote an editorial for the Albion Reporter News, where he told of his experience once more. One of the stories goes like this. Inside the snowy city within the middle of nowhere, Vermont, an older couple heard the sound of 3 loud, distinct knocks on their door. They opened the door and noticed children, a boy and an older girl. "Mother and father will be here quickly. May we be let in?" said the boy. The kids did not make eye contact and just stood there inside their doorway. The older couple had been hesitant. However, after a while, they let the boy and the older girl inside. The kids settled at a couch whilst the wife made some hot cocoa, and the husband then asked the kids some questions that went unanswered. The spouse returned and noticed that her cat had changed into scared and irritated when the children had arrived. "May we please use the restroom?" said the kids. The spouse checked out the children and she finally noticed them. The children's eyes were as black as a starless universe. She directed them to the restroom and walked back to her husband, who was covering his face with his hand. "Did you see their eyes?" said the wife. The husband then showed her his hand covered with blood from a nosebleed. The lights suddenly went out and the house turned as dark as the kids' eyes. The wife headed to the restroom and was confronted with the voice of the kids at the end of the hall uttering, "Our parents are here." The children then exited the house, leaving the door wide open. The wife then observed that there had been 2 men at the end of the driveway. The men were very tall and slender. The spouse waved. However, she did not get the same pleasant gesture in return. The 2 men and children then drove away collectively in one vehicle. The light then turned on a bit later after the kids had left. In the following weeks, bizarre things befell in the house. 3 out of the 4 cats went missing, and the 4th was discovered lifeless within a pool of its own blood. The husband continued to have nosebleeds and ultimately went to the medical doctor, wherein he became diagnosed with a very violent case of skin cancer. In recent times, human beings nevertheless claim to see black-eyed children walking late at night down an empty road, or out of doors, or even toward their car windows late at night, sometimes even lurking inside the shadows of their room. Many people have mentioned seeing the black-eyed children standing inside the corner of their room during their episodes of sleep paralysis, or even waking up within the nighttime because they sensed someone watching them. During one week in September 2014, the British tabloid Daily Star ran 3 sensationalistic front-page stories about alleged sightings of black-eyed children connected to the tale of a supposedly haunted pub in Strathshire. The paper claimed a shock rise in sightings around the world. Alleged sightings are taken seriously by ghost hunters, some of whom believe in black-eyed children to be extraterrestrials vampires, or even ghosts. Science writer Sharon A. Hill was unable to find any documentation of the black-eyed child encounters, concluding that the tales are passed on as a friend of a friend ghost story. Hill considered the legend to resemble typical spooky folklore stories, such as the phantom black dog, where the subject is not supernatural, and there may never have been an actual original encounter. Whether you believe in the tales of the black-eyed children or not, there is so much more to the story left undiscovered, and so much more left to unearth. Hey there, free thinkers. It's Naj Anonymous. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the very first episode of The Mind Awoken. I have a lot in store for you guys in the coming future. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, and at some point, you're gonna question everything you've been told. But don't worry, together we will solve the mysteries this world is hiding. And remember, before anything, question everything.